How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel for another bi-weekly Star Wars gaming news roundup. Now, if you are new around here, every 2 weeks we do a complete wrap-up of the latest Star Wars gaming news, including news on Star Wars Squadrons, Battlefront 2, Jedi Fallen Order, LEGO Star Wars, and any future Star Wars games. So be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all things Star Wars gaming. Now today we actually have a fair bit to get through, including some leaks for LEGO Star Wars, a Clone Wars Star Wars game that probably will never see the light of day, some Squadrons details, as well as something that just makes it seem like Battlefront 2 is intentionally being ignored and buried. So we'll of course get to all of that as we go. But before we do, just so you guys know, I am going to be going live on Twitch when this video goes live for our first stream over there. So I'll be live on Twitch as you are watching this, and there will be plenty more to come, so be sure to head over to my Twitch, come hang out as we talk Star Wars, play some games, and just have a bit of fun. The links to Twitch will be in the description of the video, and I'll probably pin the link in the comments as well. Now anyway, if you guys are enjoying this news update series, then be sure to drop a like on this video and click that notification bell to stay up to date on all things Star Wars gaming. But for now, let's get into this. So let's start this off with the Squadrons news, as we can quickly breeze on through that. So just over a week ago, we got confirmations that Squadrons will have cross-play, but it will not have cross-leveling. Now this is interesting, as it means that Squadrons will probably have more longevity, at least player number wise, than most would think. Keeping everything platform locked in a $40 game probably is not a great idea, so it seems like they know this and will be making sure that cross-play is enabled to help keep players happy and lobbies full. And that's really good news for those who want to play Squadrons for years to come. Now also, a Twitter user asked whether or not he'd be able to play Squadrons on his PS5 when that comes out, and just how forwards compatibility is going to work for next-gen consoles. Ian Frazier, the game designer for Squadrons, did go on to say, "We're not planning a separate version of the game for next-gen consoles, but yes, the backwards compatibility should work." So there you have it, there will be no next-gen release for this game, it's just going to be backwards compatible, as from all accounts both PS5 and Xbox One X will support backwards compatibility. So it's not going to get, that graphics boost of next-gen release games, but it will be at least playable, which is good to hear. Now moving on, and let's talk about Battlefront 2 for a second, because I found this to be very interesting. But at the same time, I also found it to be very confusing. So Origin has basically been the home for Star Wars games for a long time for PC. Some games did go over to Steam recently though, so the reach has been expanded. But interestingly enough, there has been a bunch of Origin Basic users out there that have been saying with proof that they've been notified that Battlefront 2 is being removed off of Origin Basic, with pretty much no explanation. As you can see here, the message simply reads, "This game is leaving Origin Basic in." I don't know what the hell "in" stands for, but there you have it. Now the reason that this is a little bit worrying is it just kind of feeds that narrative that Battlefront 2 is in the back mirror big time. It seems like EA are really keen to put Battlefront 2 behind them for some reason, and it really doesn't make sense as to why. I've spoken about this a lot recently, that Battlefront 2 is in a terrible state with its bugs and glitches, so people are getting frustrated and don't want to play the game anymore, as nothing is being done about it, despite the fact a lot of the fixes are pretty basic. And now Battlefront 2 is being made even less accessible for seemingly no reason at all. Something just is not right with the way the conclusion of Battlefront 2 has been handled over the past 4 months. It really has stumped me, as none of it makes sense. There was this huge comeback story, the game was about to hit its peak, and then it got booted to the side and now is just being completely swept under the rug. I really don't understand it, to be honest. I guess EA just wanted to move on to the future, but I don't think Battlefront 2 really needed to be a casualty for that to happen. Not to mention, that future, at least in the short term, has one niched $40 game. So basically rejecting the masses for a smaller audience. All of it just doesn't make sense to me at all. Now I know some people are going to watch this and say, oh, it's because of the pandemic and all of that. But I mean, games like Sea of Thieves are still fine and still thriving. And that game was in a very similar situation to Battlefront 2. It had a terrible launch, but it was a great comeback story. But Sea of Thieves is still thriving, and that's only accessible on 2 platforms. those being Xbox and PC, so it's got less of a reach than Battlefront 2 did. But Battlefront 2 is the one that surpassed memory, despite Battlefront 2 having more resources to battle through the issues that the pandemic has pretty much brought up. I mean, I don't know, none of this makes sense to me. Let me know down in the comments what you think of all of this. I just think that the treatment of Battlefront 2 in the past 4 months has been very poor, and I think the game deserved a better ending. And I still think that the game should be getting some form of love, even, post live service, but it is, like I said, it's just getting completely swept under the rug, and it doesn't make sense to me. But moving on to some more positive news, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga had some very interesting leaks in the past couple weeks, which have been hinting to more characters and potentially a healthy post-launch plan for DLC for the game. So to start, there has been images leaked of the game's startup screen, and people have put all the images together and it forms this screen right here. So on this screen we have some more characters confirmed from left to right. I'll list them off. We have Maz Kanata, Kylo Ren, Boba Fett, Admiral Akbar, Darth Maul, Old Ben, Mace Windu, Han Solo, Farmboy Luke, Rey, Leia, 3PO, R2, Jar Jar Binks, the Sith Lord himself, Vader, Wicket, Rose Tico, Grievous, Phasma, Finn, Yoda, Poe Dameron, and Lando Calrissian. And I mean, that's just the title screen. There was a lot there. There's not even like an Anakin or anything like that on there, so there is going to be plenty to unpack character-wise once we get hands-on with this game. On top of that, this screen here was also leaked. Now, of course, if you look toward the bottom, you will see DLC 8 out of 8 installed, which is very interesting. Now, this could allude to some further DLC, which is going to be really cool. We already know that this game is going to be massive, but it might just be getting even bigger once the game comes out. And from all accounts, this game is still being released this year. They really need to ramp up the marketing if that is the case though, because the marketing for this game has been an absolute shambolic mess. I really hope this game does end up coming out in 2020 though. It would just be nice to not have yet another thing delayed due to the world just being the world right now. Having said that, Squadrons is on track for its release, which is good, but to top off the year with something fun, hopefully a proper announced date comes out soon for LEGO Star Wars. Now, the last thing that I wanted to bring to your attention, as if you're here watching this video, odds are you're probably into Star Wars games. Now, I was going to make a dedicated video on this specifically like a few other YouTubers did, but I decided to just throw it here in this news video for a quick segment. As you know, this is something that has only really just broken into the mainstream and people are talking about it. So I thought I'd bring it to your attention as this is pretty cool but also really disappointing at the same time. So recently it has surfaced that a fan-made Star Wars game by the name of Star Wars Redemption was in the works and deep into development. It basically was a game focusing on a Jedi who dressed up as a clone within her legion. And I must say, the ideas that this game had were just incredible and something that EA could learn a lot from with upcoming Star Wars games. Now, the thing that might blow your mind is this game was being made by just 2 people. The sad thing is, one of those 2 people pulled out and the remaining developer working on the game, I guess he just basically gave up. Now, when it comes to 3D platformers, this game had basically everything you could want with a nice little Star Wars skin on it. One of the coolest things about this game though is you could jump in and out of your starfighter as you please, which is something Star Wars fans have wanted to see in games for a very long time. Now, I will link below the creator of this game's YouTube channel and the game's website, so be sure to show it some love as this is something that, should see the light of day. And I mean, this is the kind of stuff that, isn't a Battlefront 3 that, most Star Wars gamers actually want to see. So yeah, I thought I'd bring that up in this video as I thought it was amazing and you guys should definitely know about it. Although I imagine it's going to frustrate a lot of you as this isn't the sort of stuff that we're getting with AAA Star Wars titles. But this is the kind of stuff that can really draw inspiration and we might end up seeing something like this on the grand scale somewhere down the line if EA catch wind of this project. So who knows? So guys, that is the latest on Star Wars gaming news from the past 2 weeks. A little bit of everything from most of the current games. I do expect things to start ramping up for Squadrons really soon as the release date is creeping closer and closer. And in regards to all the Battlefront 2 stuff, I don't know what to make of it really. It's kind of confusing and it's sad to see such a beloved game get shoved aside and just swept under the rug when it should be getting flaunted. But guys, remember to let me know down in the comments your thoughts on all of the news from this news update. And remember guys, if you're watching within the first 4 to 6 hours of this video going up, then I am probably live on Twitch right now. Be sure to come over and hang out, all the links will be below, and let me know if you came from this video in the chat. But that is about it for me today. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it and subscribe for more, and I'll catch you all in the next one.